There's a strange illusion that creeps into life when we're unhappy. Days blur into weeks. Weeks dissolve into months. And suddenly, you wake up wondering, where did all that time go? You weren't asleep. You weren't unconscious. But somehow, you weren't fully there either. Time kept moving, and you drifted with it, silently, passively, almost as if you were watching your life happen from a distance. And yet, in moments of joy or awe, time seems to stretch, slow down, linger. So why does the clock feel faster when we're unhappy? And what does that say about how we're really living? Let's look deeper. Time, as we experience it, isn't mechanical. It's not just hours and minutes on a dial. It's psychological. It flows through the mind, not the machine. Two people can live through the same hour. One feels like it lasted a lifetime. The other barely remembers it. So what's the difference? It's attention. When we're fully present, fully awake to what's happening, time feels dense, rich, vivid. But when we're disconnected, numb, distracted, going through the motions, time slips past us, thin as vapor. It's not that time speeds up. It's that you weren't there to notice it passing. Unhappiness often breeds repetition. You wake up, check your phone, drag yourself through the day, collapse at night. Then you do it again, and again, and again. When your environment never changes and your emotions flatline, your brain stops recording new memories. And without memory, time collapses into a blur. It's called temporal compression. Your mind looks back and sees nothing new, nothing worth anchoring. So a whole month might pass, and it feels like it was just a week. This is the paradox. When life is monotonous and painful, time feels slow while you're living it, but terrifyingly fast in hindsight. The days drag, but the months vanish. And one day you realize you've been on autopilot for years. Here's another twist. When you're in intense pain, real, acute suffering, time doesn't speed up. It slows down. Ask anyone who's waited for bad news or sat alone with heartbreak. Every second is stretched. Every minute feels like an hour. That's because suffering amplifies awareness. In those moments, you feel everything: the heaviness, the ache, the silence. But when unhappiness turns chronic, when it becomes your background noise, it dulls that awareness. You stop noticing the pain, but you also stop noticing everything else. You become detached, not just from joy, but from life itself. And that's when time begins to slip through your fingers. New experiences stretch time. It's why childhood summers felt so long. Everything was new. Everything was an adventure. You were constantly absorbing, learning, adapting, feeling. But as we grow older and unhappier, we stop seeking novelty. We stop playing, exploring, creating. We become trapped in the known, the familiar, the safe. And without new experiences, the brain stops making new memories. It has no reason to mark one day as different from another. So life becomes a loop. And loops don't feel like time. They feel like stagnation. It's not just that time moves fast. It's that you've stopped moving within it. Unhappiness pulls us out of the present. We ruminate on the past. We dread the future. We exist everywhere but now. And yet, it's only in the now that time truly lives. When you're immersed in the present, whether through joy, pain, awe, or curiosity, time becomes real again. The philosopher Kierkegaard once said, "The moment is the most ambiguous of all things. It is nothing, and yet it is everything." When we miss the moment, we miss time itself. And when we miss enough moments, we look back and wonder where our life went. This isn't just a meditation on time, it's a call to wake up. Because the true tragedy of unhappiness isn't just that it hurts, it's that it steals your time, quietly, invisibly, day by day. But there's a way to reclaim it, not by forcing happiness, not by pretending to be fine, but by becoming present again. Try this. Pay attention. Notice the sky when you walk outside. Feel your breath without rushing to your next distraction. Do one thing slowly, on purpose. Say no to the loop. Say yes to something unfamiliar. It doesn't have to be dramatic, just something small, something slightly outside your routine. Take a different route home. Speak to someone you usually ignore. Read a page from a book you wouldn't normally choose. Watch the way light moves across a wall in the late afternoon. Because these tiny shifts, they matter. They jolt you awake, even if only for a moment. And in that moment, something incredible happens. Time thickens. It stretches, not because the clock changes, but because you do. Even the smallest act of awareness, of choosing to see instead of just look, starts to shift how time flows through you. It tells your brain, this isn't just background noise, this matters. Remember this. Be here for this. And with each moment you reclaim, time begins to return to you, not as something slipping away, but as something you're actively living. You don't have to be happy to feel alive. You just have to be present. Because in the end, the question isn't just why time moves fast when you're unhappy. It's whether you're willing to feel your life again, to come back to your senses, to your breath, to your body, to re-enter the moment, even if that moment is uncomfortable, even if it's painful, to live wide-eyed, not in denial of suffering, but with the courage to face it without turning away. Because time isn't what passes, you are. And if you're not there to meet your own life as it unfolds, then what are you really living? So slow down, notice more, and make sure, truly make sure, you're there for it.
If this made you pause, if you're drawn to deeper truths and quiet strength, then you're in the right place. Like, subscribe, and keep exploring with us. See you in the next one.